you carrying, horses?
That's right, 600 of them. Don't wake them. They're asleep. People who don't know better call us lucky. Look at you, chum, they say, swanning all over Europe, meeting people, seeing life. What life? Driving a something lorry for days on end? The only reason I'm driving is that the old man reckons I'm the least tired of the four of us. I had 6 hours sleep last night. That's right, so I did. He must be slipping. From Grand Prix to Grand Prix, Monty, Zandvoort, Silverstone, Spa, Monza, Reims. To me, that's just an awful lot of road. And dusty racetracks in between. See you in 2 days' time, the old man says. And what he means is 1,500 miles further south. Me and me mates, before we got mixed up in the Grand Prix circus, we had some friends once, long ago, Bill even had a wife. He used to bring her down to the pub for a drink with the boys, or just a quiet evening at the cinema. That was light years ago. There are, the old man tells us, 2,567 parts. 1,430 move. Figure it out for yourself. What odds would you lay not one of them will come adrift in a 3 hours flat-out race? A chum of mine who works at BRM spent all winter building up their latest monocoque. 6 months of labour and love. First time out he shunted, straight into a tree. A write-off. £10,000 with a motor car. That's life, mate. Start again. In Grand Prix racing, a car that pulls into pits for anything can be out. If this happens, we more or less spectate, butterflies in the stomach. We find a few things to do to keep us occupied. With luck, there's been no shunt, and nothing's come adrift. Oh yes, it's been known to happen. When it's all over, we strip her down. Engine, suspension, body, the lot. Everything's checked to the nearest tenth of a thou, split, pinned and wire locked, and smooth and lovely. That's how Jim, our chief mechanic, likes it. Not just a good job right for the night, 100%. Oh no, that's much too easy. Go on, he says, you must be joking. What's the matter with you? You're supposed to be the best mechanics in the world. From you, I want perfection plus. Funny thing, he gets it.
Splendid, Monsieur Clark. Could we have your impressions for our viewers in France?
Magnifico, stupendo, Signor Surtees. Magnifico, John, magnifico.
There are few of them, the Grand Prix drivers, maybe 2 dozen. Since Fangio has retired, the best of them are British, like Jim Clark here. Don't think of them as sportsmen like jockeys or footballers. Think of them rather as fighter pilots, weaving a pattern with half a ton of metal, harnessing forces bent on their destruction, to defy reason and the law of gravity, to challenge death, to challenge their own questing doubts, and then to triumph through the most lethal idiom of our times, the motor car. seek in every hairpin bend of sloping straight the ultimate, the finite limit beyond which man and machine cannot survive. It's neither sane nor prudent, but it is glory, a towering fusion of man and machine, when for a trembling instant, man is supreme. To dare, as men like Graham Hill do, and dare alone where others failed. This is the triumph. But it is private. One doesn't talk about it. Reporters rushing in their copy do not make mention of it. Briefly, it's expressed as 2 minutes 18.6, a broken lap record. A man who has audacity enough to reach for the stars needs, after he's touched them, to withdraw.
Monaco Grand Prix. They want you 1 day earlier this year, Mr. Brabham. Roger phoned. Can he catch a lift? 17th, you're due at Zandvoort. On the 25th, you present a Formula 3 car to the best pupil driver for BP in London. You'll have to make a speech, witty and not more than 10 minutes, they say. Tickets and reservations for your flight to Australia are okay, but Jim wants to know, are you coming back to Britain or are you going straight on to the States?
Jack Brabham's father owned a greengrocer's shop in Sydney. Jim Clark comes from a farming family in Scotland. Sterling Moss's father is a dentist. Ireland Senior is a vet. Some drivers, such as Ireland, come with engineering backgrounds. Since he was about 13, Innes Ireland never wanted to do anything else. But he confesses, what a damn silly thing for a boy to say to his father, "Daddy, I want to be a racing driver." Ireland Senior was and is a sensible and patient man. So Innes became an apprentice engineer to get him near to racing. It didn't. As soon as he could afford it, he started taking part in hill climbs and club trials. And he was lucky. 3 seasons later, Innes Ireland was driving Grand Prix cars. Take any weekend at random. All over Britain, there will be something like 100 different hill climbs, rallies, or trials. This is a generation that has grown up with motor cars, as previous generations had grown up with horses. Farmers and TV salesmen, chartered accountants and factory mechanics, young couples settled in suburbia who happen to like motor cars, whose one idea of bliss is to strip down, hot up, and put together, dangerously faster than it was, what used to be a self-respecting motor car. Bought second-hand, cost £50 and up. It used to be a rich man's sport, not all that widely spread. The daring of the Bentley boys at Brooklands, then England's premier track, and at Le Mans, are still recalled with awe. The drivers of these monsters were millionaires to a man. The cult remains. In Britain, there are more vintage motor cars than anywhere in the world. Our affection for them sometimes bewilders